Alright, I did my checks off camera again, good for me. So this is another EngineerKit video, still focusing on the infrastructure module. So I will pull up my repo that I'm working on. I'm working on a forked repo. We'll go to the original repo here, take a look at the link for that, and then go to my fork here. Alright, so if we look at my commits, I've got 419 commits because it includes the original, the commits from the original fork. But my commit here, my last commit, I marked as done watching that video. And I did add these notes from the ChatGPT video summary. So I would like to read through this to start the video off with a review, because reviewing is always good. And then I actually would like to create some EngineerKit flashcards. I just think that would be like a really good contribution, because during interviews, you know, you're going to be asked, well, name some AWS services. And if you can name 100 services, you're probably going to do pretty good at on the interview. So even if you can just name the top 50, you'll probably be in the top 1% of interview candidates. So I would like to turn these into flashcards. It's really clear. So like we could just have like robotics and IT dash, and then this, and then the name of the service for that. So yeah, let's do that. So I'm going to start by just reading out the video summary, and then I will make the cards, and I'll make a whole EngineerKit. I'm not sure how I'll do it. Well, I'll just start by reading the summary. So the video summary that we watched yesterday was top 50 plus AWS services explained in 10 minutes. In this video, the presenter provides an overview of more than 50 Amazon Web Services, AWS, products and services, highlighting key features and use cases. AWS, launched in 2006 with just 3 products, has since expanded to offer a vast array of services catering to the needs of developers worldwide. The video takes you on a journey through various aisles of AWS services, summarizing their functionalities and applications. So yeah, I remember that from the video. AWS is kind of like a modern grocery store, which we all love, I guess. And you can think of the services as belonging to certain subcategories. So like different aisles in the store. There's the meat and dairy aisle. There's the produce section. You can think of it that way. Introduction. AWS was launched in 2006 with only 3 products: storage buckets, compute instances, and a message queue. Today, AWS offers over 200 services, and many of them seem to overlap in functionality. This video aims to provide an understanding of over 50 different AWS services. So I'll just read all the different types. So we've got robotics and IT, IoT, Internet of Things. We've got computing services. Oops, and I need to start this because I'm already feeling it a little bit. Then we've got containerization, we've got storage services, analytics, machine learning, essential tools. This video offers a comprehensive overview of AWS services, making it easier for developers to choose the right services for their specific needs. Okay, so as I read this, I'm going to turn it into cards. So let's open up Anki. My favorite thing ever. The more you use Anki, the more successful you'll be. Trust me on this. Just start using Anki today, just for the habit of using it, just so that it's not like a foreign application and you're kind of, you know, you don't know what the add means, you don't know what the browse means. Just get used to using it for anything, because this is how doctors become doctors. This is how lawyers become lawyers. So if you want to really succeed at a high level, start using this today for something, anything. There's pre-built decks. You can go to Anki Web, and you can go to shared decks here. I mean, just download a shared deck. I mean, you can even, like, this would probably even help me. I'm a native English speaker. I'm sure I have a extensive vocabulary, but I'm sure that there's some words in this deck that are not in my vocabulary, and this will drill down on those words, and I will expand my vocabulary significantly. Like, I would consider doing this if I weren't already using Anki for my own purposes. So even people who've been speaking English their whole life have a large vocabulary. Maybe start with this deck, because there might be a word or two or 10 or 20. I mean, there's 4,000 words in this deck that you don't know, and you can expand your vocabulary, which I think is valuable. So you can express yourself more fully. So you can also use it to learn foreign languages. You can learn it. You can. This is how doctors become doctors. So use it. All right. So let's make the cards. So we're gonna make a new deck. So we're gonna go to decks. There we go. We're at decks already. We're gonna go to. We're gonna go down here to create deck, and the deck name is gonna be EngineerKit. And then it's going to be, let's see here, infrastructure module. Yeah, so we'll make cards just for each of the modules. It's kind of, I'm not sure exactly how to divide it out. And then I'm not sure if you can make like a sub deck or whatever. I'm sure I'm not doing this in the best possible way, but it's more important to do it than to do it in the absolute best possible way, because if you do it at all, you'll be in the top 10% of people, top 1% of people. Anyone who's not doing it, you will outperform, even if you don't do it exactly correctly. There's always going to be people that are better and that did things better. So the goal isn't to be perfect. The goal is to be valuable. All right, so yeah, let's make these. So we're gonna say we're gonna call this AWS service. That's not an AWS service. Okay. Oh, and this is in green. I gotta get that green out of there. So I'll go to here and open it up in here. All right, so AWS service, yeah, collapse this, go down to the, perfect. Okay, robotics and IT. And I can have that sedentary time if I need it. I need it. Oh, and now it's light gray. That's fun. Boy, all the colors of the rainbow we got going on here. Okay, just one big happy deck here. With every color imaginable, even colors you've never heard of before. Random letters are going to be that color. How do I remove formatting? Oh, there we go. Okay. All I have to do is hit this and I'm fine. Okay, so AWS service. And I don't know what syntax I want to use. Robotics and IoT. And then it's used for that. Yeah, I'll just make it green, because now I can just hit the negative sign, or the, well, basically. Okay, so there we go. I'm gonna add that, and then get rid of that, and then we're going to do IoT core is the next one. So this is IoT colon colon. I mean, these are the kinds of things where it's going to change tomorrow, you know, what it is. So, oh. Okay. I wish it were easier to do things. But then everyone would do them, and you wouldn't be the only one doing them, and the only one with the valuable skills. So I guess I don't wish things were easier to do, because then it would be more saturated with people doing those things, and therefore there would be a bigger supply to meet the demand, so the prices will be lower. Alright, I gotta take my sedentary time. Alright, 25 minutes on the clock. And let's go. So, forget which one I was at. Oh, EC2. Alright, so that just did CloudWatch. The next one is auto scaling. Yeah, what's cool about this and then separating it out into modules like this is like when it comes to like a job, it's like you can just cram for using these modules. I found like a lot of the times if you're learning something, just this rote memorization can really help because there's a big difference between comprehension and recognition. But sometimes recognition is a precursor to comprehension. I found if you can't even you look at containerization and you think of a lunch container with your tuna sandwich inside of it, it's like you have to recognize that it is a word that is relevant to IT before you can understand more about it and really comprehend what it means, why it's valuable, what sorts of products are relevant to it, Docker, you know. So sometimes recognition is a prerequisite to comprehension. So you work out and exercise your recognition using flashcards like this. So it's not quite enough to really become an expert, but it's a great first step. It's like I would like to be a football player, or maybe football is not the best example, but like to be a athlete and play basketball. Yeah, you're gonna if you're out of shape, but you can shoot, make every shot, and you have all the fundamentals, you'll probably be better than a player that is in really good shape and can barely dribble, can barely even play. But you know, if you don't have the ability to form those, you don't have a basketball, you don't have a hoop, you're probably more likely to succeed in the sport if you focus on things adjacent to sport, like getting in shape. I don't know. I'm trying to make a, maybe this is a strained. I'm just trying to say that recognition is a prerequisite to comprehension sometimes. So like in sports, if you can recognize that you have to run fast and make a pivot, make a move, you know, and you're capable of doing that, you're more likely to be successful. So like tying it back to this, oh, I can recognize this is a AWS service, so I can make a move, make a pivot. Maybe there's a Google Cloud service that has the same thing. It's like I know what type of service I need because I recognize all the services in AWS. So like when it comes to Azure or something, I can really understand, oh, this is a revolutionary new service that AWS doesn't have. That's interesting. Let me see what this does. Or, okay, well, this company's using this service, not AWS, but they still need a containerization service that stores and manages Docker container images. So they need some equivalent of Elastic Container Registry, ECR, for AWS, but they need the version of it for whatever they're using. So I hope that makes sense. I'm going to try to get these done. Kind of feel like putting on some music or something because this is going to take me a while. There is a way to use Python to make cards. I know there's a way to do that. And you know what? I think the AI knows how to do that too. So let me do this. I'm going to finish making this card, remove the formatting. Okay, and then I'm going to add the card. And I'm going to take the rest of these, and then I'm just going to build out the cards in Notepad++. I'm not going to use Visual Studio because that's a nightmare. All right. And then I'll make the cards here. So these are all AWS services. So I'll start by doing that. AWS services. All right. And then same thing for that. I need to go back in my history though. So we did computing services, robotics and IT. So this is a containerization service. EKS is a containerization service. Okay, and I'm going to do it like this, and then with the answer on the next line, and then that should set it up. I am so confused here. How does this work? Let me just set it to the beginning. Okay, that should work. I think it'll be easier if I first just move the answers down to their own line. I'll just do that throughout the whole document. And this is another thing you can use Python to do. You know what? I think I might do that. Yeah, I'll do that. Why not? So I don't need these. So these headers I don't need. But you know what? I can use them. Let's just take this whole thing and put it into Python. We'll revert this back here to how it was, and we'll just use Python for this. Should make everything a lot easier. Okay, and I'll finish up this manually just so I have a better sense of what the end result is meant to look like. Alright, so that's done manually. This is what I want the end result of these lines to look like. I want them to be like this, so I want them to have this prefix to the description, and then I want the actual name of the service to be on its own line. So let's take all of this. Let's open up IPython. We have to do it from a command prompt. I think IPython is only available in Bash. I don't have a global instance of IPython installed, so I will install it. That's interesting. Oh, my caps lock key is on. Of course it is. I feel like if you have to include a light on the key to indicate whether or not it's been pressed, there's just like a better way to do that, because it's already like, if it needs its own indication, it's just like a port. Let me talk to the AI about this. Is a tangent, but I love talking to the AI with these kinds of questions. So regarding the caps lock key on a keyboard, it has a light, usually an indicator whether or not it's been pressed and which state it is in, with whether the caps lock is down or the caps lock is not. So no other keys have this except for like the numlock key has it sometimes, but sometimes it doesn't. So like, I'm thinking, why does this key need this special indicator? It seems like it's poorly designed in that it does not properly indicate its impact the way the other keys do. Like, for example, if you hit the enter key, your impact is very obviously indicated by the results on the screen, and not, you don't need like a special LED on the enter key to tell you whether or not you've hit enter. And this is true for just about every other key on the keyboard. Like, by nature of it being a key, a button that you push, the fact of whether or not it's been pushed is self-evident based on the results it causes. But this is not the case for Caps locks. So can you help me develop this thinking? Can you give me some more ideas and kind of talk back to me about this and help me develop like a clear and coherent thought about this, and especially help me think about like design type thinking, like help me think about other scenarios like this where you need like an indicator where it seems like you wouldn't need one, and help me determine whether or not it actually does make sense to do it this way with an indicator on the key, or if it's just really poorly designed and poorly planned, and tell me some ways it could be improved.
Your observation about the caps lock key is indeed an interesting point of discussion
What?
in terms of user interface, UI,
Sorry,
and user experience, UX,
I gotta
design.
pause this.
The caps lock key is a toggle key, meaning it switches.
So my Bluetooth is messing up. I'm gonna reboot my headphones, which is awesome. I can just do without screwing up anything. My my setup is awesome. I've been working from home for like 3 years now, and I've got some things figured out really really well. Other things I'm still trying to figure out, but as long as I can keep working on the problem, I will come up with really good solutions. A desk treadmill is an amazing solution. But I need further solutions. Still, I need more intentional sessions of exercise, and I need to adhere to the best known science on nutrition as well. I don't do that. All right, so yeah, let's have it talk.
Your observation about the caps lock key is indeed an interesting point of discussion in terms of user interface, UI, and user experience, UX, design. The caps lock key is a toggle key, meaning it switches between two states, enabling and disabling capital letters. The reason for the indicator light is to provide persistent and immediate feedback about the state of the toggle, which isn't inherently obvious without it. Here are some design considerations and thoughts to help you develop your thinking. 1. Visibility of system status. The indicator light on a caps lock key is an application of one of Jacob Nielsen's usability heuristics for UI
Oh,
design,
cool.
visibility of system status. It states that the system should always keep users informed about what is going on, through appropriate feedback within a reasonable time. Since the caps lock state isn't reflected in every output, unlike the enter key, which has immediate and visible feedback, the light serves as a constant reminder. Point 2. Error prevention. Another heuristic is error prevention. Caps lock can cause typing errors, like entering a password incorrectly, and the indicator helps prevent these errors by alerting users to the fact that the caps lock is engaged. Point 3. Consistency and standards. Keyboards follow a design standard that dates back to typewriters, where a physical lock mechanism would keep the shift key down. The light is a carryover from this design, maintaining consistency with user expectations. Point 4. Other keys don't need indicators. Most other keys on a keyboard are action keys, which result in immediate on-screen feedback, making additional indicators unnecessary. Point 5. Design limitations. The traditional physical design of keyboards does not allow for each key to have its own state indicator. The caps lock and number lock are exceptions because their states are not immediately clear from context. Considering other scenarios and whether an indicator makes sense, we can look at modern touchscreen keyboards on smartphones and tablets. Virtual keyboards. Here, the caps lock key often changes color or design when activated, serving the same purpose as the light indicator on physical keyboards. Software indicators. Some operating systems also display an on-screen indicator when caps lock is activated, which provides another layer of feedback. Ways to improve the design. On-screen notifications. Instead of a light, there could be a small, temporary notification on the screen when the caps lock key is toggled. Context-sensitive indicators. A smarter system might only show the caps lock status when it's relevant, such as when typing in a password field or after the first capitalized letter is typed. Adaptive feedback. For backlit keyboards, the color or brightness of the caps lock key could change depending on its state, providing a more integrated and elegant feedback mechanism. Haptic feedback. Some keyboards could give a small vibration or a different tactile
That's
response when
funny.
toggling the caps lock key. Auditory feedback. A subtle sound cue could be used to indicate the state change, though this might not be ideal in all environments. Toggle behavior. Instead of a persistent state, the caps lock could act as a shift lock, only engaging caps lock while the key is pressed. Down.
Interesting.
Biometric context. Future devices could potentially adjust the caps lock state based on user identification, disabling it automatically when a user prone to caps lock errors is detected. When
That'd be
assessing whether the
cool.
current design is poor, it's important to consider that it has stood the test of time due to its simplicity and effectiveness. While there is always room for improvement, the indicator light on the caps lock key fulfills its role well within the constraints of traditional keyboard design.
The only problem with this is like it seems like a lot of these just go wrong and end up making things harder. And like I don't know, when I've tried to use like AI stuff on my phone, I found like I just want the phone to do something predictable. I don't want it to change its behavior, because I can adapt to what the phone's doing and learn its behaviors. Like I don't want it to adapt and learn to mine, because it doesn't do that as well. I can do it better than the phone can. So I'd rather have the phone be constant and adapt to what the phone needs than have myself be constant and have the phone adapt to me, because phones can't do that as well as humans can right now, as far as I know. So, okay, let's learn more about this Jacob Nielsen and his heuristics for UI design.
Jacob Nielsen's usability heuristics are a set of principles that provide a framework for designing user-friendly interfaces. Here's a list and a brief explanation of each. Visibility of system status. The design should always keep users informed about what is happening, through appropriate feedback within a reasonable time. Users should not have to wonder whether the system has processed their action. Match between system and the real world. The system should speak the user's language, with words, phrases, and concepts familiar to the user, rather than system-oriented terms. It should follow real-world conventions, making information appear in a natural and logical order. User control and freedom. Users often perform actions by mistake. They need a clearly marked emergency exit to leave the unwanted state without having to go through an extended process. Undo and redo functions are essential. Consistency and standards. Users should not have to wonder whether different words, situations, or actions mean the same thing. Follow platform and industry conventions. Error prevention. Even better than good error messages is a careful design that prevents a problem from occurring in the first place. Either eliminate error-prone conditions or check for them and present users with a confirmation option before they commit to the action. Recognition rather than recall. Minimize the user's memory load by making objects, actions, and options visible. The user should not have to remember information from one part of the dialogue to another. Instructions for use of the system should be visible or easily retrievable whenever appropriate. Flexibility and efficiency of use. Accelerators unseen by the novice user may often speed up the interaction for the expert user such that the system can cater to both inexperienced and experienced users. Allow users to tailor frequent actions. Aesthetic and minimalist design. Dialogues should not contain information that is irrelevant or rarely needed. Every extra unit of information in a dialogue competes with the relevant units of information and diminishes their relative visibility. Help users recognize, diagnose, and recover from errors. Error messages should be expressed in plain language, no codes, precisely indicate the problem, and constructively suggest a solution. Help and documentation. Even though it is better if the system can be used without documentation, it may be necessary to provide help and documentation. Any such information should be easy to search, focused on the user's task, list concrete steps to be carried out, and not be too large. These heuristics serve as general guidelines rather than specific usability rules. They are meant to help designers create more intuitive and user-friendly interfaces by focusing on common human-computer interaction principles.
All right, so this is a great habit. I encourage everyone to do this. If there's someone that in some way has kind of earned your curiosity, or even better, has earned like your respect for like their, you want to hear more from, give that person a follow on social media. There's these follow buttons here, so you don't even have to like connect with them or whatever, or have them like add you back. You can just follow them. What the heck? So yeah, like this is interesting stuff. This is relevant, timely information about the industry. So I'm going to be really well informed about the industry because I'm following a leader in it. So you could also connect, but then, he's going to be like, oh, who are you? I don't want to connect with random people. So this follow option is probably the best way to go. And then you get like these updates from their feed too. So I guess they put Excel into a video game. I'm not sure what section of the video game, maybe the sadder chapters in the game. All right. So yeah. Right. So I was talking to, I got distracted because I had my shift key, my caps lock key on when I didn't expect it to be on. So I got distracted and I talked about UI design. And I actually went down a pretty cool rabbit hole. So yeah, I'm not going to worry about this, though. There probably is a module for that coming up at some point. But for right now, it's the infrastructure module. So I'm going to continue making these cards. So now I've got IPython installed. IPython 3 I have installed. Oh, okay. So now I can do temp equals this string here. Okay. And then, you know what? I don't need the... Well, I can do this all. So I'm going to say cards I'm gonna say rough equals temp dot split on a new line. So now I've got rough is a list. So I can do for line in rough print line. Okay, and now I can move. So now I can grab interesting. You know what I can do? I can just ask the AI. What a world we live in. Seriously, this is like a revolution. This is a revolution. So there we go. And then I'm gonna so I want help me use IPython 3, and I can't ignore that really, to rearrange the above text to be in the same format as the text below.
To rearrange the provided text in the desired format, we need to extract the name of each AWS service and its description separately and then print them in separate lines. Here's how you can do it using IPython 3. When you run this code in IPython, it will output the services formatted in the same way as your example. Here's how the output will look. If you want to print out the result or manipulate it further, you could also store the formatted strings in a new list or write them to a file, depending on what you are planning to do with the data next.
Oh, that would have been so cool if that just worked. Oh, you know what? It's because there's blank lines in it. Yeah, so all I have to do is remove the blank lines. So I can do rough equals dot split. Okay, and now I can run the code from the AI again. Isn't that awesome? Like, what kind of magical thing is that? Like what the heck? It's like they literally live in this future that is. Oh, I got it wrong though. Did it? No, it didn't. Oh, I got it right. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Yeah. Let's do this. So let's verify. Wow. What a magical world. I'm more impressed by ChatGPT like every day. All right, so we've got a number of services here. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 main categorizations. So let's see if that lines up. Yeah. So we've only got 4 here, and then we've got a lot of essential tools services. Kind of a lot of, and then everything else is kind of the same. Yeah, man. Wow, it got it right. Isn't that insane? Like, am I the only one just absolutely mind blown by that? Okay, so let me take a look at the history. So the last card I did was a containerization card, and it was for ECS, so EKS is the next one. Okay, so now we're going to go to the AI, and we're going to say perfect Now use this output here. Use it to use IPython 3 on it to automatically turn it into a series of Anki flashcards and to add it to an existing Anki deck. Okay, and then we gotta find the deck name, I assume. So the deck name is this. Oh, I'm ignoring my that's bad. It doesn't have to be exactly, if I'm a few minutes late, even a few 10 minutes late, that's fine. But this is the bare minimum. Like I'm having health problems. I'm scientifically obese. All right, so use IPython 3 on it to automatically use it into a series of turn it into K. Add the cards to named show me the code, and I will.
To create Anki flashcards from the formatted text you provided and add them to an existing deck using Anki Connect, a plugin for Anki, will need to perform several steps. Make sure Anki is running with Anki Connect installed. Use the requests library to send HTTP requests to Anki Connect's API. Format each service as a question-answer pair suitable for Anki flashcards. Use the Anki Connect API to add these pairs to the EngineerKit infrastructure module deck. Below is a Python script that you can run in IPython. It assumes you have already set up Anki Connect and Anki is running. First, install the requests library if you haven't already by running. Pip install requests in your IPython terminal.
Look, and you can
Here's the
just
code
do
to
it
generate
in
and
the
add
Python.
flashcards. Before running the script, replace with your actual services _ text string. To run this script, paste it into your IPython session after ensuring Anki is running with Anki Connect. Please note that Anki Connect runs on port 8765, which should be open and available for requests. This script is quite basic and assumes that the text is always in pairs of 2 lines, question and answer. If the input text is not formatted correctly, the script might not work as expected, and you might have to adjust the parsing accordingly.
Okay, so I don't have Anki Connect set up as far as I know. Can you please tell me how to set it up? Oh, I just love how it... Oh
Sure,
my God.
here's how you can set up Anki Connect, which is a plugin for Anki that allows external applications to communicate with Anki over a local network. Install Anki. If you haven't already installed Anki, download and install the latest version from the official website, Anki Web, HTTPS. Add the Anki Connect add-on. Open Anki. Go to Tools-Add-ons-Get Add-ons. Enter the Anki Connect code. 2055492159. Click OK to download and install the add-on. Restart Anki to enable the add-on. Verify Anki Connect installation. Open Anki. You can verify that Anki Connect is working by accessing http://localhost 8765 in your web browser. If you see a message like Anki Connect v6, it means Anki Connect is running correctly, allowing Anki Connect to work with firewalls. If you have a firewall or security software running, make sure that port 8765 is open for incoming connections. Always run Anki. For external applications to communicate with Anki through Anki Connect, Anki must be running. So whenever you want to use this functionality, make sure Anki is open. After setting up Anki Connect, you can start using the Python script provided earlier to add flashcards to Anki programmatically. Remember that Anki needs to be running whenever you're executing scripts that use Anki Connect. If you have any issues with Anki Connect, you can refer to the Anki Connect GitHub page for more detailed instructions and troubleshooting.
Isn't this crazy? Like, this is like, my jaw is to the floor. Like, I am a person that exists in the year 1400 that just saw a plane fly over them. Like, I've never seen anything like this. Like, imagine asking a person about this. Especially for them to give you, like, this chunk of code. Like, I'm speechless. Okay, but let's follow through with the instructions. So we've got the API set up now. So we're gonna need to get a few. We actually don't need to get any library except for the requests. So I have this temporary folder that I'll delete after this project. Oops, and I accidentally created the. I can do a move env -r env to delete me. I'm not sure what's going on there. Okay, now, oh, what? Okay, that's my sedentary time. If I want it, I can take it. I actually don't want it. So I'll queue it up, but I'm sure I will want it very soon. Alright, so. There we go. So then the next step is to yeah, I need to get the payload. So I can add these lines in now. Or now I just need to open. Yeah, I need to open it like, oh, what? Oh, I have to get this as well. All right, there, that's fine. Okay. Oh man. Oh, it's doing the thing, and it warns you about that. See, yeah. You have to install it inside the virtual environment. Man, what's going on? Oh, it's defaulting. So let me do deactivate. We're gonna do sudo apt remove. There we go. Okay. Okay, and then now it's defaulting to a user installation, even though I don't have a user installation. Okay. Well, I guess that's just the way life goes. You know what? Let me tell the AI. I'm telling on you. The AI is gonna give this big. Gonna get in big trouble from the AI.
It looks like you're experiencing some confusion and issues with installing IPython in your virtual environment. Here's a step-by-step guide to help you through the process. Activating your virtual environment. Make sure you are in the directory with your vim folder and then activate your virtual environment with the source command. After this step, you should see vim before your prompt, indicating that you're now working inside your virtual environment. Installing IPython within the virtual environment. Once your virtual environment is activated, you can install IPython into it by simply running. Note that you do not need to specify Python 3 as IPython is the correct package name. Resolving permission issues. If you encounter a permission error when trying to install packages, it may be due to pip trying to install packages in a directory where your user. It looks like you're having trouble getting IPython to work within your virtual environment. You've tried to install IPython while your virtual environment is activated, but it says it's already installed in the system's directories. The message you're getting is because pip is installing packages to your user directory instead of the virtual environment. Here's what you can do to fix this issue. First, ensure that you have the virtual environment activated. You should see vim at the beginning of your command prompt, which means you have it activated. Then, use the user flag to avoid the message about the system-side packages not being writable. This isn't needed inside a virtual environment and might cause confusion. To ensure that pip installs packages into your virtual environment, you can try the following. Upgrade pip to the latest version. Outdated pip can sometimes cause issues with package installation. After upgrading pip, try installing IPython again, specifying the ignore installed flag to force reinstallation into the virtual environment. If the above doesn't work, there might be a problem with your virtual environment setup. In that case, you can recreate your virtual environment. First, deactivate and remove the existing virtual environment. Then, recreate the virtual environment.
I think because I moved it.
Now try installing IPython again. After following these steps, IPython should be installed within your virtual environment, and you should be able to launch it by just typing IPython.
I think it's because I moved it from the admin folder. I'm gonna take some sedentary time. I could use it. Oh, I'm confused here. What was I just doing? Okay. Oh, I'm creating a virtual environment in the folder I need it to be in. Instead of in a different folder and then moving it over to that folder. But it seems to be taking an abnormally long amount of time. Okay, now it's done though. Okay, so pip Python. Man, it's all just taking a long time. Oh, okay, but now it seems to be working. If the issue was I created the virtual environment files in the wrong folder and then moved them over, and it doesn't work that way. I don't know why it's taking so long though. See, as magical as this technology is, it still depends on my internet connection not being slow as heck. Oh, I guess it's I mean, this is good. Future, if you're looking back upon this, please, 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 I beg you, think that this says gigabits instead of megabits. Like, if you could do that for me, and just be really, some historian or whatever sees this and is like, wow, he's got really slow internet for like, it's running at 20 petabits per second. Like, wow, like we use like 20 exabytes these days. Like we have to actually do math to determine just how slow his connection is running at petabytes. It's like, well, take a closer look. It's actually at petabits. Take a closer look. It's actually at megabits. So hopefully history can come true in that regard, where people just can't imagine a computer professional like me relying on a 20 megabyte connection. A part of it is my fault. I could have a direct connection to my modem through a wire that would speed it up. Right now I'm using Wi-Fi, so I could make that faster. But the thing is, I don't know how to get a cable running from here to. It's like not in the same room. Either that or I have to go to get another provider. But I've tried doing that and it's been surprisingly difficult. It's like prohibitively difficult for me to change a provider. It's more difficult for me than I think it is for like the average person. All right, so yep, so don't need any of the spaces there. Should have the request module now. It's still going. Well, I mean, that's okay. I can build out the code in the meantime. So this is Python. So should be able to select the language for that. There you go. And yep, so we'll build out the code here. Okay, so this should be good once I have the. Okay, so yeah, let's do it. I don't know why it's so slow. I'm tempted to just try to make a new one. Let me do that actually. It's just way too slow for me. Still just as slow. That's too bad. That's really too bad. I'm at the hour mark. Okay, there we go. Now, I mean, this will be the last step if this works, which is insane. thought I installed it. Spelled it right. It's frozen. Oh shoot, it's just totally frozen. I guess I'm gonna pause it. I gotta do some basic things, and it's, well, you know what? I'm not gonna give up that easily. Okay, now I'm gonna pause it because this has to. The only way forward is getting the request module on here and working. So I'll be back. Hopefully this will complete by the time I'm back. All right, I'm back. Let's see. Okay, so it should be working now. I would hope. Okay, so this is like really clunky and like taking a long time, and like there's a lot of lag in installing the like lag, like lag, like you know what I'm talking about. Like there's a lot of lag when it comes to like lag, you know, like the computer science, you know, like I have to wait too long for things to run for some reason. So like, can you help me stay positive and excited about the results and not just kind of be down in the dumps about having to wait?
Absolutely, it's completely understandable to feel a bit frustrated when things don't run as smoothly or as quickly as you'd like, especially when dealing with software installations and setup. It can be a test of patience. But let's try to reframe this and look at the positives. Learning opportunity. Each challenge is an opportunity to learn something new. This experience is making you more proficient in troubleshooting and understanding the intricacies of your development environment. Resilience building. Overcoming technical obstacles builds resilience and problem-solving skills. You're learning to be adaptable and persistent, qualities that are incredibly valuable in any field, especially in tech. Better setups. Once you've gone through the setup process and have everything working, you'll have a solid development environment that can save you time in the future. It's an investment in smoother operations down the road. Break time. Use the waiting time as a short break to stretch, hydrate, or do something enjoyable. This can improve your mood and productivity when you return to your work. Mindfulness. Try a bit of mindfulness or meditation. It's a great way to stay calm and centered when things are moving slower than you'd like.
All right, those were actually really good. That was actually really useful.
The error message you're seeing indicates that your application is trying to connect to a service running on localhost, which is your local machine, on port 8765, but it's unable to establish that connection.
Is it because I already
The connection
have
refused
this?
error usually means that there is no service listening on the specified IP address and port you are trying to connect to. Here are several steps to troubleshoot this issue. Check service status. Make sure that the service you're trying to connect to is actually running on your local machine. You can check if something is running on port 8765 using a command like netstat and grep 8765 on Linux or Mac OS, or get process ID, get net connection local port 8765. Owning process in PowerShell for Windows. Check firewall settings. Ensure that your firewall is not blocking connections to this port. You may need to add an exception for port 8765. Correct service. If you're running a local web server or API for development purposes, ensure that it's started properly and configured to listen on the correct port. Network configuration. If the service is running inside a Docker container, virtual machine, or it is bound to a different network interface other than localhost, you'll need to make sure your network configuration allows for connections between your machine and the service. Application configuration. Check the configuration of the application making the request to ensure it's set to the correct port and host. Retry policies. If the service normally runs, but may take some time to start up, make sure your application has some retry logic to handle cases where the connection isn't immediately available. Logs. Look at the logs of the service you are trying to connect to. There might be errors or exceptions that indicate why it is not accepting connections. Dependencies. If your service depends on other services.
All right, so shoot, let me think here. Why do I have to think? Oh, man. Why do I have to think? I have to think because I might need to set up a exception for this port in the firewall or something. Inbound rules, connection security rules. Let's make a new rule. Custom rule. Oh, yeah, I feel like I could. I feel like it is a firewall issue. Okay. Okay, walk me through step by step on a Windows machine how to make sure that this isn't a firewall machine and how to, sorry, a firewall issue, and how to set up a rule to let these API exchanges happen on this port.
Sure, here's how to check your firewall settings on a Windows machine and, if necessary, create a rule to allow traffic through a specific port, in this case, port 8765. Check Windows Firewall settings. Open Windows Firewall. Go to the Start menu and type Windows Defender Firewall, and press Enter. Alternatively, you can access it through Control Panel by going to System and Security Windows Defender Firewall. Allow an app or feature. In the left pane, click on Allow an app or feature through Windows Defender Firewall. Check if your application is listed in the Allowed Apps and Features. If it's not listed, you can add it using the Allow Another App button. Ensure that the app is allowed to communicate on both private and public networks if needed. Advanced Settings. If you want to check for specific port rules or need to add one, go back to the main Windows Firewall window and click on Advanced Settings. This opens the Windows Firewall with Advanced Security window. Inbound Rules. Look in the Inbound Rules in the left sidebar. Check if there are any rules that might be blocking the port 8765. You can sort the rules by the local port column to find rules related to port 8765 more easily. Outbound Rules. Do the same check for outbound rules to ensure that the traffic isn't being blocked on its way out. Create a new firewall rule. If you need to create a new rule for port 8765, open Advanced Settings. Go to Advanced Settings from the main Windows Firewall window as before. New Rule. In the left sidebar, click on Inbound Rules. On the right side, click on New Rule. Rule Type. Select port as the type of rule to create and click Next. Specific local ports. Choose TCP or UDP, depending on your application's requirements. Enter 8765 into the specific local ports box and click Next. Allow the connection. Choose Allow the connection and click Next. Profile. Select when this rule applies, domain, private, public. If unsure, check all of them. Name and description. Give the rule a name that you'll recognize later, such as API port 8765 inbound. Optionally, provide a description. Click Finish. Repeat these steps for outbound rules if necessary, though typically, outbound traffic is less restricted. Test the connection. After you've configured the firewall, try to connect again to see if the issue is resolved. If the service you're trying to connect to is running on your local machine, the firewall changes should allow the connection. If the connection is still refused, you may need to look into other potential causes that were mentioned earlier.
You know what? This is what we did in school. We're just gonna turn everything off for now. Okay, and it failed, so we'll turn it back on. All right, well, that's too bad. Why is it? I'm so confused. I don't know what's happening. All right. I mean, I didn't see anything. Oh. Mind reading genie? What the? I don't know if I want that. Application. Yeah, so it's like right here. What if it says like refused connection? The weird thing is it's like if I go to localhost colon and then the port that it's on, which is 8765. Like it's working. So I wonder. It seems like it's an issue with my subsystem for Linux. So I mean, I don't have to be in here. Oh, you have to do it, and it's not even. It's not even in bin. It's in scripts. Yeah, and the slashes are the other way. Oops. And clear is a different command as well. All right, so now the next one is pip install requests. All right, and maybe this is the problem. There was some issue because WS at Wassel is like a virtual machine, so this is a shell prompt that's not in a virtual machine in the same way as Wassel is, or in any way really, as far as I know. So this should work. Oops. Nope. There we go. Paste anyway. There we go. Oh, I think it's working. Oh, yes, it's working. It's working. Otherwise, it would give me that answer sooner. Oh, yeah. I mean, what did it take? Like a half an hour? If I had just done it manually, it would have taken shorter, but this is a lot more scalable. I'm going to be making cards all throughout this series, so learning how to do it in an automated way like this is really valuable. We should be able to see it increment. What, there were 14 cards before, so yeah, now we're up to 30. So I don't know how many cards it's gonna make. I thought there weren't that many. Yeah, there's only 50 cards or so. Wow, what a world. So let's take a look at some of the cards. Just make sure that everything. Wow. This is just blowing my mind. Look at that. And now I can actually do the cards. So this is an AWS service pertaining to robotics and IoT, and it's used for simulating and testing robots at scale. I don't remember. RoboMaker. AWS service. Don't know. IoT core. Robotics and IoT collects data from satellites. I don't know. Ground station. AWS service, computing services allows you to create virtual. I think this is EC2. Yep. Elastic Compute Cloud. AWS service, computing services. Oops, sedentary time. Don't want to live that sedentary lifestyle. Okay, so 5 minutes on the clock here. So, oh, now this is a computing service that distributes traffic to multiple EC2. Something load, I don't know. Elastic load balancing. So this is an AWS service, computing service. This is Amazon Watch. No, it's CloudWatch. I was close. All right, AWS service, computing services, creates new instances based on predefined policies. I think this is auto scaling. Got it. AWS service, computing services simplifies the deployment of web applications so that, I don't know, Elastic Beanstalk. So this is computing services, part of that suite. It offers an even simpler option for deploying websites. Don't know. Lightsail. Introduces serverless computing, allowing you to run code in response to events. No clue. Lambda. Enables running AWS APIs on your own infrastructure. No clue. Outposts. Mini data centers that work in hostile environments. Zero clue. Snow devices. Stores and manages Docker container images. Kubernetes. Nope. Elastic Container Registry, ECR. Allocates virtual machines for running containers. This is Kubernetes, right? No. Elastic Container Service, ECS. Manages Kubernetes clusters. No idea. EKS. Allows containers to behave like serverless functions. No idea. Fargate. A new 2021 product for easy container deployment. No idea. AppRunner. The first AWS product. Oh. S3. Got it. Simple storage service, S3. Good. Connects data from satellites orbiting the Earth. Don't remember. Ground station. Collects data from IoT devices, updates their software, manages them remotely. No idea. IoT core. Used for simulating and testing robots at scale. I'm going to say RoboKit, RoBokit. No, it's RoboMaker. Wrong. Archives files with higher latency but lower cost. Ooh, this is a good one. Don't remember. Glacier. Ideal for applications with data processing needs. No idea. Elastic Block Storage, EBS. Provides fully managed file storage. It's a storage service. Elastic File System, EFS. A wide range of database products, including SimpleDB, DynamoDB, DocumentDB, RDS, Aurora, Neptune, TimeStream, and Quantum Ledger Database, QLDB. No idea. Database options. Distributes traffic to multiple EC2 instances automatically. Something auto scaling? No, elastic load balancing. A data warehouse, data lake, Redshift. Collects logs and metrics from EC2 instances. It's CloudWatch. Yes. Simplifies the deployment of web applications. No idea. Elastic Beanstalk. Creates data lakes for unstructured data. Ooh. Glacier? Is that it? No, lake formation. Offers an even simpler option for deploying websites. It's a computing service. No idea. Lightsail. So enables running AWS APIs on your own infrastructure. No idea. Outposts. Introduces serverless computing, allowing you to run code in response to events. And I'm good with the sedentary time. I'll do some extra time. No idea. Lambda. Stores and manages Docker container images. And it's a containerization product. This is like an Elastic something something. Yeah, Elastic Container Registry, ECR. Mini data centers that work in hostile environments. Outposts. Nope, Snow devices. Captures real-time data streams. Wasn't this CloudWatch? No, Kinesis. Framework for processing massive data sets. It's an analytics framework. Hadoop. Elastic MapReduce. Allocates virtual machines for running containers. I think this is an Elastic something something. Yeah, Elastic Container Service. A new 2021 product for easy container deployment. No idea. App Runner. Manages Kubernetes clusters. This is Elastic Kubernetes Cluster. Elastic Kubernetes Service, EKS. Oh, well, it's EKS. I don't know if it stands for that, but I'm going to say I got it right. All right, collects data from IoT devices, updates their software, and manages them remotely. Interesting. Okay, Glacier, IoT Core. Connects data from satellites orbiting Earth through a global network of antenna. What? I don't know. Ground station. You can kind of think of that like a weather station, I guess. So allows containers to behave like serverless functions. No idea. Fargate. Used for this is it's not RoboKit. It's Robo like function or like Robo Maker. MAKER. Robo Maker. ROBOMAKER. Got it. Ideal for applications with data processing needs. I don't know. It's a storage service. Elastic something something. I'm going to say EDS, Elastic Data Service. No, Elastic Block Storage. Archives files with higher latency but lower cost. No idea. Glacier. Oh, that's Glacier. Oh, wait. Oh yeah, high latency. A Glacier has very, very, very high latency. And nowadays, it's latency in the other direction, unfortunately. All right, so this is database applications, or database options, got it wrong. All right, provides fully managed file storage. No idea. Elastic file system. So a data warehouse for structured data. Lake formation. Redshift. Distributes traffic to multiple EC2. I'm going to say auto scaling. Wrong. The answer is elastic load balancing. Simplifies the deployment of web applications. Elastic something something. Oh, well, kind of. Elastic beanstalk. Got it wrong. Offers an even simpler option for deploying websites. And it's a computing service. No idea. Lightsail. Introduces serverless computing. No idea. Lambda. This is lake formation. Got it. Enables AWS infrastructures. Computing service. Elastic. Something something. No, outposts. Mini data centers. Oh, these are snow banks. Oh, snow devices. Stores and manages. So Elastic Container Service, ECS. Elastic Internal Registry, ECR. A framework for processing massive data sets. Analytics framework. No idea. Elastic MapReduce, EMR. Captures real-time data streams, analytics. This is CloudWatch. Damn. Okay. Allocates virtual machines for running containers. No idea. Elastic Container Service. A new product for containerization in 2021. Brand new. App Runner. No idea. No idea. Okay, collective. Manages. No idea. Allows user behavior. Formate. Data processing. Glue. SageMaker. Data exchange. Recognition. Redshift? Yay, got it right. Glacier. Got it right. No idea. This is database options. Oh, this is snow module. Sorry, snow devices. Okay, this one is not CloudWatch because it's real time. It's oh, I know what it is. Kinesis. I don't know this one. Don't know this one. Serverless functions. Don't know this one. Register software. with lambda for this one? No. Recognition. Got it. Elastic load balancing. Got it. Okay, this is a snow device. Got it. Oh, shoot. I thought I knew this one. Kinesis. All right. I think that's going to be it. Yeah, it's just I'm not getting anywhere with these. So, yeah, unfortunately that's it. So I think that's it for this video. It's hour and a half right now. Didn't get through any of the material, but I did learn how to make cards, which is going to be in an automated way, which I think will be really awesome. So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching and stay tuned for the next one.